Jeskai aggro. The opponent here for Burkhart is Devon Seitz, as we are just in the opening stages here of game number 2.
Though good news here for Corey. No board here for Devon.
Well, of course, that's how he wants it to be. That's how Blue-Black Control always wants it to be. Keep it clear. And just keep passing back and forth. Draw some cards, too. And you see Corey does have a copy of Jason Ingenuity, though not willing to cast it just yet.
So this is a slightly different build of Jeskai aggro than we saw earlier on camera with the 4 midnight copies of Arc Lightning, Treasure Cruise here, and Outpost Siege. 3 copies of Valorous Stance, a little bit more normalized.
Is that our good friend, Mr. Merklurker?
That's the Merklurker.
Ah, yes, the Jorbai Merklurker.
Very easy to pronounce.
Should they start designing cards in mind that are easier to say?
Well, that's on creative. That's not R&D's call.
We have to yell at somebody over there, don't we?
No, not necessarily.
Hey, it's people who work in creative, come on.
It's cute to do this every once in a while.
Jorbai and Salumgar.
Yep.
But I suppose you do have to give them some neat names.
Like Jorbai is already a little tricky to pronounce, and then Merklurker is not the cleanest.
It's the fix. You gotta practice, that's all.
Yep.
That's all that is. I don't think we'll see things like Champions of Kamigawa Block anymore with those goofy names, but maybe we will.
Hirobi, Hikori, there was a third one that was the same name.
Yes, there was. Hikori, one of my favorite cards of all time.
Is that that's Winter Orb on a creature?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of your favorite
Oh,
cards.
yeah. You lose the game. Soulfire Grandmaster out here for Devon.
Now we play this winning game where it's a lot of mana for Devon to keep up Soulfire Grandmaster, but it is certainly powerful. Corey doesn't really want to make a move because if Devon just has a counter spell and is able to get it right back, that's quite poor.
It's actually very reminiscent of the earlier matchup we saw between Blue-Black Control and Jeskai with Ben. This situation kind of presenting itself. And here's God's Willing from Devon.
And Corey's got to be thrilled with this attack because it means that Devon is putting the impetus to move first here. And now Corey can try to fight a battle on his turns to get the Soulfire Grandmaster off the table without allowing it to activate for good value.
Yeah.
If both these players are just staring at each other, it's very awkward for Corey to make a move. But now with an attack, Corey can be a little bit more proactive.
Well, he looks like he's going to have a response here in some capacity. You see players kind of talking back and forth on exactly how does Soulfire Grandmaster work with all of its wacky text and bringing back spells.
And the card can be activated at a moment's notice. Devon doesn't have to preemptively activate the Soulfire Grandmaster. He can allow Corey to respond, and as long as the God's Willing or whatever other spell is still on the stack, whenever he wants to, he can pull it back.
I think that's what the discussion's all about right here is how exactly does this stupid thing work?
Are you holding priority? Are you allowing God's Willing to resolve?
We're going to sacrifice a whole bunch of fetch lands. That's what he's going to do right now. 3 of them. Get 3 lands out of his deck.
Because with the attack that Devon made right now, and then playing the God's Willing, Corey can just go, okay, God's Willing resolves.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to move just yet. There's a 2-2 attacking into a 2-4. So he wants to get a protection from blue. Corey's not going to fight over that. So he wants to see exactly what's happening on with this, going on with the Soulfire Grandmaster activation. If Devon activates, then he might respond with a counter spell or a removal spell on the Soulfire Grandmaster. But for the time being, there's no need for Corey to do anything.
3 lands have been fetched out. A little shuffle action here. And then we'll see how both players want to move forward. So God's Willing is going to resolve. So we'll get a scry here in just a second. Now he's going to activate Soulfire Grandmaster's ability. So this is where things get tripped up maybe a little bit. Now it looks like it may be Lightning Strike. We'll see.
Yeah, he might be trying to Lightning Strike and activate the Soulfire Grandmaster, which is a disaster.
Sure.
Because one counter spell or a removal spell on the Soulfire Grandmaster, and it's all for naught.
It is a little bit of a confusing card.
Yes.
Oh, there's lightning strike. I know we can see that negate. I hope that Corey can't.
Well, Corey also has the option of just saying, all right, I'll Bile Blight your Soulfire Grandmaster, and you can take a lightning strike back.
Sure. I think that's what's going to happen. So Grandmaster's going to die. Strike. All this good stuff will take place.
And that's why it was rough for Devon to make that attack, because once the burden's on him to act first,
Yeah.
Corey can really make life rough for him inside of combat. Exactly what you just saw. Soulfire Grandmaster dead, no damage dealt. Nothing really rebought because the lightning strike didn't do anything.
Yep.
And Corey with enough mana left over at the end of the turn to cast Jace's Ingenuity.
A tough turn there for Devon. Corey's turn goes great. Gets to draw 3 cards, plus a draw step, which was a hero's downfall. Has Perlic Ancient, another Jace's Ingenuity in hand. Life is pretty good for Mr. Burkhart.
Yeah, this is looking nice.
Now he gets to attack too with the old Merc Lurker and give it lifelink. Okay then. Just how we drew it up.
Yeah, perfect. Creature dash leech.
Well, there have been some real nice leeches in Magic's history.
Yep. Also, the literal card leeches.
Also, yes. I'm trying to think of what the best leech in Magic history is. I want to go with Jade Leech, just kind of in the dark, because I know that card saw play. Not that it was even that good.
Jade Leech is a fine choice.
Yeah.
Appeared in Pro Tour top 8 decks
There's Valor Stance.
at a time where 4-mana green creatures that only attacked and blocked did not show up in Pro Tour winning decks.
Yep.
So, Jade Leech is a fine choice.
Twitter probably has a good idea of the best leeches in Magic history. You guys can let us know at SCGLA, hashtag SCGLA. I'm going to stand firm on Jade. I'm certain it's not Alabaster.
Alabaster, the most depressing rare of all time.
I am very sure Alabaster Leech is not the answer. Here's Sustainable Stroke on Tasigur.
And Corey in the enviable control deck position of, I don't even need to fight over things like counter spells on my big threat because it just doesn't matter. I can win the game some other way.
There is the Smoking Gun.
Pretty fun rare. Really good. So I opened that up and I'm like, what decks can I put this in? Pretty fun.
Just getting into Magic.
Just get into Magic, open up the booster pack, peel towards the back. You know, that's where the excitement is. You're rare. And then that thing is staring back at you. A card that if you cast, you lose the game.
Here is Jace's Ingenuity from Corey.
It's actually Phage, but you also lose if you play it from your hand.
Good old Alabaster. Maybe not the best card.
No.
Maybe not. I know you've got on the record one of the worst rares of all time.
I think it's not in terms of power level. There's probably weaker rares, but in terms of like, holy crap, how depressing is this to open up in a booster pack? It's the worst one.
Mudhole.
At least
Mudhole.
No, Alabaster Leech is worse.
I think it's arguable. Not going to argue with you. I stand by Mudhole. That's an unacceptable card. That is an unacceptable card to open. That's not okay.
No, I'm not. All of these cards are below the acceptable line. I'm not arguing Mudhole is an okay card to open in a booster pack.
The flavor, all of it, just disgusts me. Though it is an instant, thankfully.
Yep.
Can Cunning Wish for that.
Yep. Take that, lone guy.
Devon will take a draw. Most people are saying that Putrid Leech is the best leech of all time. I think they're right.
That's a good choice.
Yeah,
Putrid Leech is a good choice.
That card beat me a lot. Very frustrating card. Classic oversight. But hey, that means that people are watching. They're paying attention to what we have to say. That's fantastic. I love that. We're not on mute. People actually are listening to us. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, this is a really good leech. Also, pretty good flavor for a leech. Good design, you know.
Yeah.
It drains you to grow. Great flavor.
Yep. Very powerful.
Very powerful.
Hate playing against it.
Zombie leech is
Good flavor. Ish. No, you don't like it?
not super clear what that really means, but that's fine.
I think it speaks for itself, really. Here's Mantis Rider.
sort of been pulled away from the game a little bit because Corey's putting on such a clinic right now. Easily fending off everything that Devon's up to. You can't be too reactive when you're playing against a pure control deck. I understand you want to have your counter spells, your removal spells. You're trying to do a variety of things, but you need to keep up the pressure, because once you get to this spot, it doesn't matter if you kill random permanents. You see Corey didn't even bother fighting over the Tassiker a couple turns ago. Just doesn't matter. He's got enough resources to work with.
Well, we're going to put a little stack together here. Mantis Rider tried to attack. Hero's Downfall went after it. There was a God's Willing. Hero's Downfall tries to go after it again. Now we have a negate. And now we'll see if Corey wants to make a move. He'll say Hero's Downfall again. What do you think about that? I've drawn so many cards, I've got all the answers. Let's clear the stack. 6 cards will go to the graveyard. Burkhart comes out on top.
26 life, a handful of removal. You almost wonder if maybe Devon thought that Corey was on Esper or something. There is a Flooded Strand in the list, just as another fetch land, but there's a Glare of Heresy in his hand right now. No targets in Corey's 75. And now it's just an issue of when does Corey actually want to try to win the game and in what capacity?
Well, I think he's going to try right now because he's just drawn his Tassiger again. That was put on top from Jeskai Charm. He's got that in play with a whole boatload of mana. Monastery Mentor, the draw here for Seitz.
Corey Burkhart is not necessarily a name that you know, but he has lost playing for top 8 in I don't know how many Grand Prix.
I was going to say like the king of 18th place.
Yeah, he has a surprising number of Grand Prix top 32s.
Yep.
And he's often playing with very few buys.
Yep.
I mean, he can game.
Mentor's in. Looks like Devon might be considering Jeskai Charm. And he is.
And this sets up an opportunity for Corey to go, okay, that resolves Pearl Lake, Ancient, Untapped, Drown in Sorrow you. It's not bad.
Trigger prowess.
Trigger prowess.
Yep. Gotta have respect for the prowess game. The Monk trigger, of course, on the stack here from the Jeskai Charm. Looks like Burkhart might be considering Jace's Ingenuity right now.
There's so many good lines of play here for Corey.
Looks like he's going to go with Tassiger instead. So Dissolve and a Perilous Vault are turned over. The options are Perilous Vault, Dissolve, and Hero's Downfall.
Probably just have to give him Perilous Vault here, because at least it removes the Tassiger from the table if that comes up, but
great options all around. The Vault does go to the grip. The rest will stay in the graveyard. There's the Monk token. Now this resolves. Jeskai Charm puts Tassiger back on top. Now it's Chase's Ingenuity. 3 cards coming. One of them will be Tassiger, of course. Burkhart will untap all these lands, and he'll take a draw. Negate is what he's found. Drown in Sorrow is going to clear everything away here in just a moment. There that is. See you later, Mentor, and it's Monk. Scry, take a look at the top card. Goes to the bottom.
Corey's not even keeping Bio Blights at this point.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Tassiger, perhaps. Leaving Dissolve in the graveyard. There's a land, Dismal Backwater, gain of life up to 27. Shivan Reef the draw here for Devon. He'll play the land and pass the turn back. And that might be the check mark on this game, because now there's going to be a Tasser activation. Devon's going to play something here to stoke the flames. I think Corey might say, okay, that's fine. Going to need more than that to get this thing off the table.
Yeah, he gets to negate the follow-up.
The follow-up's to Lightning Strike. There's the negate you spoke of. And now the Tasker activation turns over Merklooker and a Dig Through Time. Dig Through Time is the card that'll be given. When you're giving your opponent one of those, you're probably in a pretty bad spot.
Yep.
Corey quickly untapping and drawing.
If you're giving him Dig Through Time, you're probably not beating whatever they can find off the dig.
Yeah. Rough road ahead here for Devon. Drown and Sorrow is going to go on the bottom of the deck from Temple of Deceit. Pass that turn back.
Also, Pearl Lake Ancient's still hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't even gone to that yet.
Rabble Master. You can see the look on Devon's face. He knows that's not going to be good enough. Hero's Downfall will kill that before the trigger. There's the Pearl Lake. Card designed as a closer for blue control decks.
Yeah.
And that is going to do it. Corey Burkhart's going to win this match here over Devon Seitz. 2-0. Blue-black control will take care of Jeskai aggro. And for Burkhart, he moves on to 3-1.
And a lesson there about being a little bit too reactive in the post-board setup here. A lot of burn spells in Devon's hand. Not a lot of real pressure to back it up. And as a result, you know, the first threat or two he's able to put on the table, Corey's able to fend that off. He doesn't have another creature to follow up with. And then his hand's just a bunch of Jeskai Charms, a bunch of Lightning Strikes, and that's not going to be a winning position for Jeskai aggro.